teaching a course on common sense then, and maybe our PhD professor should all have a course on common sense.
Glenn Beck would agree with you. He has a tour right now called Common Sense.
Oh no!
Oh God!
I listen to Glenn Beck too, but I'm just concerned about the shape of my country, and it's a crying shame to see good people voicing their opinion and not being heard. That's my point. We're not being heard.
Well, the thing is, we are being heard. We're being heard by a portion of the population in southeastern Connecticut along the I-395 corridor. That's not a huge audience yet. That's not a national audience. But if we can affect the opinion of one or two people a week, and every one of us steps out and affects one or two people a week,
that's right.
The numbers add up.
That's right.
It just takes time.
I agree 100%, but I believe the change has to come from the political side before we can see what we want and respect as common sense issues. Anything from drinking and driving to people with multiple DWIs should have their tester in their car so they can't get in their vehicle. Things of that nature. You know what I mean? It's just common sense things, but they won't enforce it, and it's a crying shame. So, but thank you for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for your call.
And keep the good fight going, but I've just seen it. I've seen this in my
Don't
own
lose
town.
heart.
I've seen this in my own town with Walmart's force-feeding the people as we're going to save the town. And the people come out, and by the end vote, by the time they drag it through the political process, only 57 people show up to approve the Walmart. When at the first meeting it was 310. So I'm trying to explain to you that you are fighting an uphill battle with
Absolutely.
a whole trainload of rocks.
Right. You have to have the fortitude to stick with it.
I agree.
We've gone through 8 years now, so I mean it's been a very ugly 8 years. So there's certainly fortitude out there to be had.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your call.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. You too. And we are going to keep fighting. We will keep fighting. That is what we do. So.
Well, I'd just like to point out that we wouldn't, I won't speak for you, but I wouldn't be engaged in this kind of work unless I were completely proud of America and proud to be an American and absolutely committed to making America a better place.
Right.
And I think that what we are seeing now is really a kind of bottom-up activism that that's happening, and I think part of that is a virtue of having a community organizer at the top.
At the top.
Because he's saying, okay, you want healthcare reform, people, then you need to go to your legislators, call them up, you make the effort, and let them know that, you have to have single-payer health care, or whatever it is that that is your passion.
Right.
Don't just sit there and
Right.
make a lot of smoke. Actually, do something.
That's right.
Write a letter to the day.
And it's not hard to do either. It is not hard to do.
all.
You can get right on your computer and send an email to your legislators. The telephone numbers are all there. Call them up.
Yep.
It's not hard to do, and certainly we do it, and we'll continue to do it. And we fight the good fight,
And we hope to have some of our friends who are helping us fight the good fight on in the future.
Yes, we absolutely
For us
will.
and with us.
We absolutely will, and we will be having certainly Andy Maynard is coming on, and certainly some of the other our local politicians will be coming on. I just need to.
Maybe some of our friends from Love Makes a Family.
They have committed to coming on. Matt and Gannon should be coming on. They said they would, and I am certainly going to hold their feet to the fire on that one. But yeah, we're out there, and I'm going to have to bother some people a lot more to get them to come on, but they will come on. Politicians are real good at saying, "Oh yes, we'll do this for you." And Andy Maynard, I know, will come on. He's a good guy, and he supports us, and he, as soon as he can find a free moment, is going to be on our show. Some of the others I'm still working on, but anyway, it's a good thing, and we are out there fighting the fight, and we will continue to do that. And it's little steps, but
Right.
But we're making progress, and I'm kind of proud of the whole thing, actually.
You can only change the world one person at a time.
That's right.
Yeah, I've heard that for years, and it rings more as true now as ever.
Yeah.
And the more that I have considered the matter, I really do think that excuse me, that coming out really is a revolutionary act. Assuming that, yes, you are a sexual minority. Don't come out if you're not gay, okay? That's my point. But no, I mean, really, this is how the public opinion is being changed, particularly on this issue.
Right.
Is that people all across America, in cities like New London, in cities like New York and Miami, and in towns, small towns and farms all across America, people are finding the courage to say, okay, this is how I am, and please respect that.
Right.
And that is really what is turning the tide of public opinion.
That is a wonderful thing. And I think that, and that's one of the reasons, absolutely one of the reasons we do what we do, is, if we can, I mean.
No, you're absolutely right.
If we can help somebody, give somebody just a little bit, just give somebody that little push and the strength to do what they really in their heart know they need to do, that is really cool.
Maybe they don't have to suffer in the ways that we've had to.
Absolutely, and I'm fond of saying this. This is something that a friend of mine from Montreal always said, is that those that went before us, those brave souls that went before us, made the targets on our back just a little bit smaller. And I hope that that's part of what we're doing.
Yeah. And that's particularly poignant now, just passing the 40th anniversary of the Stonewall Revolution, which was
very cool.
Which was an amazing act of civil disobedience.
Yeah, truly wonderful.
And it was done, it was not planned in any way, and it certainly didn't involve any lobbying of politicians. But
there's no community organizer arranging that one.
Right. It just took people saying, I'm fed up with this kind of oppression, and I'm not going to take it anymore.
And that, I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, I know some people have no problem, when they start to hit sexual maturity, identifying who they are, who they're attracted to, and admitting it to people nowadays. There may have been some earlier. But for me, it was a very terrifying experience. It took me a decade, or more to get there, and the notion I had was, after coming out and feeling that immense weight lifted off your shoulders, was, I've got to get out there. I've got to put myself out there so that other people can see that they're not alone, that they're not the only ones, that it can be done, and it can, you can survive it, because it was a huge obstacle to me coming out.
Sure. A lot of people also describe the coming out process, particularly for bisexuals and transgender folks, as a stage process.
Right.
So, like in my case, I mean, I came out as a gay man, very young, and then later also came out as bisexual.
Right.
And so, it's not that you necessarily, step out onto a stage and say, ta-da, and then, okay, well then, now you've come out, all of your problems are solved, your life is going to be hunky-dory, and nobody's ever going to look cross-eyed at you anymore. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
It really is a process, and it's something that you have to affirm